Are you studying in Canada or planning to move there as an international student? Then this update could directly impact your future. One mistake, like changing your college, taking a break from studies, or even working during an authorized leave, could put your study permit and future immigration plans at risk. The good news? Canada has not introduced new study permit rules. But Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has updated the way immigration officers assess whether international students are following their study permit conditions. So, what does this mean for you? And what should every international student know to stay compliant and protect their Canadian dream? Stay with us until the end because we'll also answer the most common questions students are asking about this important update. If you're an international student in Canada or planning to study there soon, this video is packed with essential information you simply cannot afford to miss. Every year, thousands of students choose Canada for its world-class education, career opportunities, and the possibility of becoming a permanent resident in the future. But getting a study permit is only the beginning. Keeping that permit valid throughout your studies is just as important. IRCC has now released updated operational guidance for immigration officers. While the laws themselves haven't changed, the updated instructions clearly explain how officers will evaluate whether students are complying with their study permit conditions. Understanding these guidelines can help you avoid unnecessary immigration problems later. In today's video, we'll break down IRCC's latest guidance on study permit compliance, explain what it means for international students, cover procedural fairness letters, PFLs, highlight common compliance issues and their consequences, and answer the most frequently asked questions. So let's dive right in. First, let's understand the biggest point. Has Canada changed its study permit rules? The answer is no. IRCC has not introduced new study permit regulations. Instead, it has updated its operational guidance for immigration officers. In simple words, officers now have clearer instructions on how they should assess whether international students are following the existing study permit conditions. This updated guidance is already in effect and applies to current study permit holders across Canada. One of the biggest highlights of the update is that officers are reminded to issue a procedural fairness letter before deciding that a student has failed to comply with study permit conditions. Now you might wonder, why does this update matter if the rules haven't changed? This is actually very important. When immigration officers receive clearer instructions, their assessments become more consistent. That means students need to better understand exactly how IRCC reviews their compliance because even small misunderstandings could create immigration complications. According to the updated guidance, officers will carefully examine several important areas. The first is enrollment at a designated learning institution, also known as a DLI. Students must remain enrolled at an eligible institution as required under their study permit. The second area is changing schools or institutions. If you decide to transfer to another designated learning institution, you must follow IRCC's requirements and make sure your information is updated correctly. Another important area is changing academic programs. Switching from one program to another may seem like a simple academic decision, but depending on your situation, it could affect your academic progression and even your future eligibility for a post-graduation work permit. Officers will also assess whether students are actively pursuing their studies. Simply holding a study permit isn't enough. Students are expected to make reasonable academic progress toward completing their program. Academic progress has become another key area of assessment. If your studies are repeatedly interrupted or you're not progressing toward graduation without a valid reason, immigration officers may review your compliance more closely. The guidance also discusses authorized leaves from studies. Many students assume they can take a break whenever they want. However, not every break is automatically considered an authorized leave. Students should first confirm that their leave meets both their institution's policies and IRCC's immigration requirements. Another area many students overlook is working during an authorized leave. The rules regarding employment may be different while you're on an approved leave. Before accepting any job during that period, students should carefully verify whether they are legally allowed to work under immigration regulations. Now let's talk about one of the most important protections available to students. What is a procedural fairness letter? A procedural fairness letter is a notice from IRCC giving students the opportunity to explain their situation before immigration officers make a final decision about possible non-compliance. Receiving a PFL does not automatically mean your study permit will be cancelled. Instead, it gives you a chance to submit supporting documents and explain your circumstances. For example, you may be able to show that your studies were interrupted due to medical reasons. You may provide proof that your institution officially approved your leave. You may also demonstrate that there was an administrative error in your enrollment records. Or you may explain other exceptional circumstances that affected your academic progress. The most important thing is to respond promptly and provide complete and accurate information. Ignoring a procedural fairness letter could seriously affect your immigration status. Now let's look at the possible consequences if students fail to meet their study permit conditions. Depending on the circumstances, students may face serious immigration consequences, including the invalidation of their study permit, immigration enforcement actions, and difficulties with future immigration applications, including applications related to work permits or permanent residence. That's why staying compliant throughout your studies is extremely important. Before we wrap up, let's quickly answer some of the most common questions. Has IRCC changed Canada's study permit rules? No. Only the operational guidance for officers has been updated. Can changing schools affect your study permit? Yes. Students transferring to another designated learning institution should follow IRCC requirements and keep their records updated. Can you take a break from your studies? Yes, certain authorized leaves may be permitted, but they must meet both institutional policies and IRCC requirements. Can you work during an authorized leave? It depends on your specific circumstances and the applicable immigration rules. Always verify your work eligibility before accepting employment. Does this update affect current international students? Absolutely. The updated guidance is already in effect and applies to current study permit holders across Canada. Finally, how can students avoid compliance issues? Stay enrolled at your designated learning institution, make reasonable academic progress, report any required changes to IRCC, understand the rules surrounding authorized leaves, and seek professional advice before making major academic decisions such as changing schools, changing programs, or taking an extended break from studies. Following these simple steps can help protect both your study permit and your long-term immigration goals in Canada. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest Canadian immigration and study permit updates. If you have any questions about your study permit, changing schools, authorized leaves, or any other Canadian immigration topic, leave your question in the comments below, and we'll do our best to cover it in an upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.